morning students. So last class we discussed about what is photosynthesis, where does it occur and what is the reaction of photosynthesis. Now we will see the mechanism of photosynthesis. So photosynthesis occurs in two steps. It occurs in two steps. What are they? Light dependent reaction and light independent reaction. Okay. So photosynthesis occurs in two steps: light dependent reaction, light independent reaction. First we will discuss about light dependent reaction. Light dependent reaction is also called as photochemical reaction. Photochemical reaction. And it has three steps. First step is conversion of light energy to chemical energy. Second step, photolysis of water. This step is also called as splitting of water molecule. Next, third step, reduction of, you can say, formation of assimilatory power. Okay, so first step is light dependent reaction, which is also called as photochemical reaction. It has three sub-steps. First step is conversion of light energy to chemical energy, photolysis of water. It is also called as splitting of water molecule. Third step is formation of assimilatory powers. So let us discuss these steps. First step, conversion of light energy to chemical energy. So what happens in this step is the chlorophyll which is present in grana molecules. The chlorophyll which is present in the grana molecule absorbs the light energy and becomes activated. Chlorophyll absorbs light energy and becomes active. Okay. Chlorophyll present in the grana molecule absorbs the light energy and becomes activated. So this activated chlorophyll, what it does? So it is absorbing the light energy. That light energy, photon. Light energy is nothing, we will call it as photon. Photon is the unit of light. Okay. So chlorophyll absorbs a photon and becomes activated. Photon is nothing but light energy. So now the activated chlorophyll performs the second step. So now the chlorophyll is activated. Activated chlorophyll, what it do? It will split the water molecule which is present in the chloroplast. Okay. So second step is splitting of water molecule. Splitting of water molecule. So H2O is our water molecule. So activated chlorophyll means which has been absorbed the light energy. It splits the water molecules into H plus and OH minus. Okay. So it is this step, second step of our light reaction, splitting of water molecule. So water is split into H plus and OH minus. So here, as water is splitted due to light energy, this step is also called as photolysis of water, because water is split due to light energy which has been absorbed by the chlorophyll. So that is why it is called as photolysis of water. Photo means light, lysis means breaking. Okay, breaking of water molecule with the help of light. So that's why it is called as photolysis of water. Now water is broken down into H plus and OH minus ions. Now what happens? This OH minus ions may combine with another hydrogen atom and forms into water. Okay? It has two pathways. OH minus ions has two pathways. First one, it may combine with other hydrogen atom and form into water. This water is utilized by the plant. Okay, this water is utilized by the plant. Or next, or the the oxygen atoms will combine with another oxygen atom and forms an oxygen molecule, and this oxygen is released into the air. Okay, so by breaking of water molecule, you are getting H plus and OH minus ions. OH minus ion. So what will happen to first we will see OH ion. OH ions may either combine with another hydrogen atom and forms water, and this water will be utilized by the plant itself. Or the OH ion may split and oxygen may react with another oxygen atom present in the cell, and it forms oxygen molecule, and it is released into the air as oxygen. This is the fate of OH ion. Then what is the fate of H plus? This is very important. This H plus is very important in the photosynthesis reaction. So before going to the third step, let us know what is NADP and ATP. So if you understand these two terms, then you will understand the third step. NADP, it is a coenzyme. Actually, it is a coenzyme. You don't have information about coenzyme. So NADP is an intermediate molecule or intermediate element which is needed for several protein synthesis, vitamins, several important compound synthesis. So NADP is needed in synthesis of several important compounds. It is an important element which is found in all the cells. Even so, this is N. What is the full form of NADP? Nicotinamide adenosine NADP. First, let us know about the NADP and ATP. Then we will go to the third step. NADP is an important coenzyme found in every cell. So it has several functions. It is important in several protein, carbohydrates, lipid synthesis, vitamins. So it plays a major role in several synthesis and even some breakdown, protein breakdown, carbohydrate breakdown. So this is some compound which is very important to cell. Just remember that. ATP. What is ATP? So full form of NADP is nicotinamide adenosine dinucleotide phosphate. You should remember it. Nicotinamide adenosine dinucleotide phosphate. ATP. What is ATP? Now, ATP is the energy of the cell. ATP. ATP. Adenosine trinucleotide, adenosine triphosphate, adenosine triphosphate. adenosine triphosphate. It is formed from ADP plus PI gives rise to ATP. Okay. So first let us know what is ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So it is the energy for the cell. Whatever food you are eating, it is breaking down to get energy. That energy is in the form of ATP. Every cell needs energy in the form of ATP. Whatever energy is synthesized in the body is in the form of ATP. So it is ATP is the energy currency of the cell. Means cell needs energy in the form of ATP. Okay. Energy currency of the cell. So how it is formed? ATP is formed by combination of ADP, adenosine diphosphate. This is present in the cell and it reacts with another phosphate molecule. PI is phosphate molecule. ADP reacts with phosphate. All these compounds or all these elements are present within the cell itself. They are formed due to several chemical reactions. In the cell, several chemical reactions occurs. So several intermediate compounds will be formed. So like that ADP and PI will be forming. This ADP and PI will be combining to form ATP. Whenever the cell needs energy, it will combine the ADP and phosphate present in it to form ATP and the energy is generated. So energy, whenever the energy is needed, so what the cell does? Whatever the reserved ADP and PI present in it, it will be combined to form ATP. So in that way the cell utilizes energy. Now you have understood what is NADP and ATP. Now coming to the third step, formation of assimilatory powers. Formation of assimilatory powers. So in the second step, what happened? Water is split into H plus and OH minus. OH will form into water or oxygen. So what happens to H plus ions? So H plus ions are taken by NADP. H plus ions are taken by the NADP to form NADPH. Okay? NADP takes the hydrogen ions and forms NADPH. During this process, energy is liberated. ADP combines with phosphate. To form ATP. Okay? So, when NADP reacts with hydrogen ion formed in the second step, energy is liberated. ADP combines with phosphate and ATP is liberated. And NADPH is liberated. Clear? NADPH combines with hydrogen ions to form NADPH. During this process, energy is liberated in the form of ATP. So these two compounds, NADPH, which is formed, and ATP, these two are formed. These are called as assimilatory powers. So these two are called as assimilatory powers, which are used in the second phase of photosynthesis reaction. So this these reactions are called as light dependent reactions. So all these reactions compulsory need light. So in the presence of light only they will occur. So what is the first step? The chlorophyll will absorb the light molecule and becomes activated. Now the activated molecule, what it do? It splits the water molecule into H plus and OH minus ions. The H plus ions are taken by the NADP to form NADPH. During formation of NADPH, ATP is also formed in the cell. So these two which are formed, NADPH and ATP, are called as assimilatory powers. These are the raw materials for second phase of reaction, light independent reaction. So this is about the first step. Now coming to the second step. So as this equation, all these equations were discovered by Robert Hill. So this light independent reaction you can also call as Hill reaction also. Photochemical reaction and Hill reaction. So light dependent reaction can be called as photochemical reaction or Hill reaction because Robert Hill has discovered this reaction. Now coming to the second, light independent reaction. So light independent reaction, it is also called as dark reaction. It does not mean that this reaction happens in the dark or night. It means like it does not need light. For example, if you have taken some chicken biryani, you are already full and another plate is offered to you. You will eat? No, you will not eat because you already had your biryani. So like that, already it has its raw materials, that is NADPH and ATP are there for it. Now it does not need light. It may occur in the presence of light or in the absence of light. So that's why we are calling it as a dark reaction. So there is no need of light. So that's why it is called as dark reaction. Now what happens in the dark reaction? Light independent. So there is no necessity of light. It may occur in the presence of light. It may not. It may also occur in the absence of light. Now in the dark reaction, the assimilatory powers formed in the light reaction. First reaction. Powers. Assimilatory power. What are they? NADPH and ATP. These are formed in the light reaction. Light dependent reaction. Okay, these are formed in light dependent. So now these are utilized in the second step. Okay, so what happens? The NADPH and ATP are used by the carbon dioxide, the hydrogen atom, NADPH. This hydrogen atoms reacts with carbon dioxide and forms glucose. How it is formed, we will see. Okay, the assimilatory power which is formed in the light reaction, it will react with the carbon dioxide in light independent reaction and forms glucose. So how it is formed, we will see now. In ribulose 5-phosphate. So it is a compound which is present in the cell. Cell has ribulose 5-phosphate, this compound in it. So ribulose, it's a 5-carbon compound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the structure of ribulose 5-phosphate. Now carbon dioxide will react with NADPH reacts with carbon dioxide, and this carbon is added to ribulose 5-phosphate. Okay, so ribulose 5-phosphate is present in the cell like this. Now this carbon should be added to this molecule. So for this, NADPH reacts with carbon dioxide and this carbon is added to ribulose 5-phosphate. Now you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 molecules. 6 carbons are there. So glucose is formed. C6H12O6. So how many carbons are there in glucose? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So glucose. You can write this structure like this. There is no need, but just this will be the structure of glucose. So if you count C6, 12 H hydrogens will be present, 6 oxygens will be present. Okay. So this is the structure of glucose. So just remember that in the dark reaction what happens, ribulose 5-phosphate which is present inside the cell will combine with carbon dioxide in the presence of NADPH and it forms into glucose. It forms into glucose. This glucose is the food material. So photosynthesis has occurred. Glucose has formed. After some time this glucose is converted into starch and stored in the plant. Stored in leaves or other plant parts. Stored in the leaf or other plant part. So this is the mechanism of photosynthesis. Thank you.